Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to create an working contact form by using HTML, CSS and PHP. So we are going to create a form, then style it. Then we are going to add the PHP file to make it functional, and then we are going to upload it into a server to see if it really works or not. So if you are not interested in styling and other stuffs, you can directly jump on the PHP section. I will add the chapters and also the timestamp so you can jump directly into that section you want. So without any further ado, let's get started. At first I am going to open a new folder in my desktop here. Let's name it form, and inside this I will add a new index.html file. Then also an style.css, which will be containing all the style of this file, and also a mail.php. You can give it whatever name you want, it doesn't matter. Now after creating all of this, I'm just going to open this by Visual Studio Code. Okay, now let's go to the index.html and create our markup. So this is a simple boilerplate here. Let's make the title to contract form. Also we need to link the CSS here. After that, let's get into the markup. So this is going to be very simple here. I'm just going to create a container div, and inside this let's use an JSON for the title, contact me. Then let's use a paragraph tag to add some more other text here. I'm just going to copy this. Okay, this should be our text. Now let's add our form, and at first I'm just going to add a label. It will be for the name, and we need to add an input field. It will be type text, so input type text, and the name will be same of this name. It is compulsory, you need to put a name here. You can either ignore the ID, it doesn't matter, but let's add the name here also. After that, let's create another label here, and the type will be email, for email, and let's add a label here. After that, it will be input, type will be email, name will also be email. Let's also give this ID of email, although we don't use the ID here. Also let's add another label. It will be for the subject. Let's type subject here, it will do our job. And okay, after that we need an input field. The type will be text because the subject is a text. So let's add subject and also the ID of subject. Now let's add another label for the message, and then we can add a text area here. The name will be the same as this for here. I'm just going to remove the ID, we don't need that actually. So I think it will be it. Let's open this by the live server extension here, and here we go. This looks really ugly, but we are going to style it now. So before getting into that, let's go to the fonts.google.com, and I will like to use Playfair display here for the title, and let's get the semi bold, not italic, the regular one, and another one, maybe Poppins. Okay, this one. Let's get the regular or 400. So I'm just going to import the link at the index.html. Okay, so now let's go to the style.css and do some stylings. So we want the margin, sorry, not maxoid, margin 0, padding also 0, box sizing border box, it is the default reset for the browser stylings. Just target the body here. I want to give this a dark background color, so let's give this a background color of hash on, B on, C on, E. It is kind of black but not full black. Text align, let's make them center, and after that let's target the eyes on here, and we want the font family to display fair display. Let's just copy this and paste it here. Let's increase the font size a little bit to maybe 59 pixels. So after that let's make the color to be totally white. Then we can make the font weight to 600 because we have imported the 600 font weight only. Also let's add some padding at the bottom. It will create some gap with the text. So let's give it 20 per pixels value. So this is how it looks like. Now let's do some other stylings, and actually let's make it smaller here. So now let's target the paragraph text here. I'm going to give this kind of grayish color, D2, D2, D2. Okay, it will do. And after that let's target the paragraph tag, then input, then text area, also the label, and we want to give this the font family of Poppins. Let's just copy it and paste it here. Now the text has been changed. So let's target the container, and for the container I'm just going to give this a maximum height of 1320 pixels. After that let's give this a margin of 0 auto to make the content at the center. Let's also add a padding of 5%. After that let's target the form and give this a maximum height of maybe 500 pixels. Also we need to give the margin 0 auto to make that center. After that let's make the text align at the left because we have given the body a text align center. Also let's add a padding. We only need the padding at top and bottom, so 20 pixels left and right 0. Now let's target these things here. So they are by default inline element, so that will appear like this, but we want to appear them at separate lines here. So let's target the input and text area, also the label, and give them a display of block. Let's save. Now they align at separate lines. Also let's set the margin 0 auto to make them center. Let's make the height of 100%, so they will take the entire height. Also let's change the color a little bit. We actually cannot see anything here. 82, 82 and 82. I hope this is it. Okay, this is the color. Now we need to style these input fields and this on. So input and text area. Let's make the background color transparent. Border will be 0. Now we cannot specify anything here, so I will add a border at the bottom, 2 pixels solid. Okay, it is already here, but I want to give this color. Now we got this. So after that let's target the input. Sorry, we need to add a submit button in here. I already forgot that. So let's add an input, type submit, and value will be sent. Now we got the button in here. Now in order to style this, we need to target the input type submit. So by this we can specifically target this button here. So we want the background color to be kind of grayish, 54557. This is the color here. And let's also add a padding. We only need padding at the top and bottom, left and right. It can be 0. Let's also make the color of the text to be white so we can see it. Let's increase the font size to 16 or 18 pixels. Looks better. There is a border at the bottom here. We don't want any of that, so border bottom, let's make it none. Let's also add a margin at the top of 30 pixels so it will have some gap with the other input fields. But when you hover on that, the cursor doesn't change, so we can add a cursor or pointer. Okay, now we can add an hover effect with that, so I'll just copy this and add a hover. So for the hover, let's change the background color to be totally white, so triple F. And the color of the text, let's make it black, or this one. It looks fine. So we can also add a transition. Okay, it should do. So whenever we put some text in here, it actually looks kind of small and dark, so we can target this and make it white and bold, or maybe bigger. So what we can do is we can target the input and text area. Let's make the color to white. Also let's make the font size to 18 pixels. Also let's add a padding of 10 pixels. Let's save, and now it is much better. Okay, so whenever we focus on that, we click on that, we got this outline here. We can change the outline if you want, so let's do that. Input type will be focus when we focus on that, and also the text area. And whenever we are focusing on that, so we need to change the outline to maybe 1 pixel solid, and the border color here is this one. So I think this is the color, so I'll just copy this and paste it here. Now it got this color here. So styling for this thing here is done. So what we are going to do is going to make this form functional. So in order to do that, we at first need to add two things in the index.html with the form. So the first one is the action. So the action will be this one, the PHP file name. So in this case it will be mail.php, and we also need to add an method. The method will be post. We can also use get, but I prefer the post here. So now let's go to the php.mail. Okay, what I'm going to do is make it bigger. Let's make it dual monitor here. Now in the php.mail, let's open a PHP file. This is how PHP file works. We need to put an start and closing tag here. Now we are going to create some PHP variable. Let's create a variable named name, and we are going to get the value from this input field where the user will put his name, and we are going to put this value inside this variable. So we can use the global post variable here, $, underscore and capital post, and we need to put the name, which is in this case is actually name, inside single quote, double quote, single quote, both works. So this is the name. I'm just going to create some copy. Let's also get the email here, and also the subject, also the message. Actually it doesn't matter, whatever variable name you want to create, it doesn't matter, but this one is matters because this should be the same with the name of the input field. In this case it will be the email. So let's change that, and this one is the subject, and the last one is the message. So everything is done. So after that we are going to create a mail header. Actually, whenever you got an email, you can see that at the top there will be some text, right? The receiver's the sender's name and his email address. So we can actually do that here. Let's create a variable named maybe mail head. Okay, mail header. So we are going to put some text, so we need to use the quotes and maybe from, then we can put the email address, so we need to concatenate this. Okay, we can put the dots to concatenate and use the variable name, which in this case is the name. After that we are going to put an angle bracket here, because in mail you also see this type of brackets, and in this bracket I want to display the email address. Okay, so let's get the variable of email. After that let's again close the thing, which is the closing angle bracket. So we can add an line break here. So after putting this mail header, it will push to the next line. So the thing for that will be backslash r backslash n. So it is just nothing, it is just a line break. So after this, the everything else in here will be starting in a new line, just this. Okay, this is our mail header, and now we need to put our email address, so where the email will be sent. So let's create a variable, maybe recipient. Okay, you can put your own email address here, don't put my email address because that will just do spamming. So I am just going to put my email address in here. Okay, now all the mails that will be sent from this will be sent to this email address. Okay, so in this case, in your case, you can put your own email address and it will be sent there. After that we are going to use a mail function. So just for better understanding, I want to show you in details. So in W3 school you can see it in details. So the mail function contains some of the attributes here. The first parameter will be 2, so it will be the recipient email address. It is required and is specific to the receiver. Then there will be the subject. We already got the subject input field, and if you don't have any subject input field in the form, you can put an empty variable or maybe some text of your own. Then there will be the message, then there will be the headers. The header is literally optional, so it is it is from that email address and like that. And the header should be separated with an line break like this, we already used that. And the parameters are optional, so we are not going to add that. So these are the things we are going to add. Now let's do that. So mail function, at first we need to put the recipient. After that there will be the subject. After that there will be the message, and at the last will be the mail header. Okay, we got everything, but there is an issue here. If there is some problems with the server or anything, so if it cannot send, we can show a message here or die, and maybe the message will be error. So if it cannot send the mail, then it will die here. So this thing here will not proceed beyond this. But if this succeeded, if the mail has been sent, then if you want to show something, you can also do that, like echo and message sent, like this. So this after sending the mail or after submitting the mail, when the submission process is successful, it will just open a new page and display this message only. But I think it will look kind of ugly, just a simple text without any stylings or anything. So I actually don't want to do that. We can actually display an entire HTML template in here also, and that is what we are going to do here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a copy of this index.html, and let's also open this. So this is it, but we actually don't want to display all of these things, so I'll just remove the form from here, and in this let's add some dummy text. You can put whatever text you want. I'll just put thank you for contacting me, I will get back to you as soon as possible. And we can also put a link to get back to the home page. So let's just delete that and use a p. Let's give it a class of back and go back to the, let's use an anchor tag and it will take us to the index.html home page. Okay, we need to put a full stop, and I think it looks fine, but we can do some stylings. So after finishing up the style.css, actually I don't think this looks fine, so let's target the anchor tag and give this a color of, I will choose this one. Let's also make it font style italic, and also I'll just add a hover effect that will only change the color to totally white. Let's save, and now it actually looks fine, so I'll just go with that. So we actually don't need the copy, just these things. So just copy this and insert the mail.php. Actually we have used the double quote in different places in here, so we cannot actually use the double quote again. So for the PHP code I will just use the single quote, and inside this let paste our entire thing, and it will do. So it will get all the stylings because we have added the style.css and also the fonts and everything. So this our project is done, so I'll just remove the indexed copy, we don't need that, and we are going to upload this in the server. But before doing that, we actually cannot put a folder in the server, we need to make it a zip form, not the rar. So let's select the zip. You can make this kind of things with the WinRAR, 7-zip or any other softwares like that. So let's okay, and this is our form we are going to upload in our server. So in here I have opened my cPanel of my server, and we actually need the access to the file manager. So let's get into the file manager and upload. So we actually need to put these things inside the public HTML, and in order to upload something, I think this is the option. Let's put the zip file in here, and it has been uploaded. Let's go back and select the form.zip. Let's make this extraction, and here we go. So this is in the main domain, then there will be a form, and then inside it there will be the index.html. Okay, now let's open an incognito window here, and it will be this URL / and form. It will automatically get into the index.html, we don't need to specify it. So here we go, this is our form. Let's put something here, and everything is okay, we already submit all of this. So let's click the send, and it took us to this page where we can see these things and also go back link, and if you click that it will take us to the index page. Now let's check the email. I have opened this. So if you cannot find the mail in the primary location, you can check the spam folder. So this is my spam folder, and this is the mail, and here as you can see this is the sender's name, then there will be the mail inside this angle bracket to this email, and also you can see the subject and every other things. This is the subject and this is the message, so it actually works. So I think this is everything about this video, and if you want to apply more input fields you can also do that. This is very easy. So in here we have used the in here we have used the message. So you can add multiple fields inside this, so you just need to concatenate with each other. So let's suppose we can use another variable and put the message, then you can add other fields like budget or any other fields you want, like location, zip, and you can put all these things inside the message here, which is the third variable. So you can create a third variable and concatenate all these fields you want to add and just pass this in here, so you can also see the values of that field in your email. So I hope you find this video helpful, and if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up and share this video. Thank you very much for watching this so far, and see you in the next one. Take care and goodbye.